Your 20s could be some of the best times of your life, or it could be some of the worst times of your life. When I was a young man in my late teens and early 20s, I never had anyone talk to me about education, the possibility of going to college. I never had anyone to talk to me about money or finance or investing. And so as a result of that, I've wasted and I blew a lot of money in my 20s. I made a tremendous amount of bad decisions. So if you're in your 20s and you're trying to figure things out, or if you're an older male trying to figure things out, or older woman, and you're looking for some knowledge and wisdom that you can pass on to younger folks, this is the presentation for you. 6 goals for everyone in their 20s. I hope you enjoy the presentation. Hey, what's up, family? I hope you guys are having a phenomenal start to your day. Now, before I get started with the presentation, I want to give you a word out of one of my books in my library, How to Think Like a Millionaire. Exceptional book. I think everyone should have this book in their library. And it goes like this. Socrates, the Greek philosopher, was profoundly aware of the weakness in his own nature. Yet he came to realize that people are evolving beings, capable of changing and growing toward an ideal. People can always improve themselves. That is part of our greatness, and that ability to improve ourselves can develop at any moment in our life. Now, family, it doesn't matter what type of adversity you have to go through in life. You can overcome these adversities, right? But I think it's very important to establish yourself earlier in life, so when it's time to hit these adversities, you're able to weather the storms. Okay, that's why it's important to take note of some of these 6 financial goals to establish in your 20s, and hopefully this will help guide you when it comes to dealing with adversity and positioning yourself for success later in life. All right, now let's get started. Now, the first financial goal is learning to save and invest your money. In your 20s and your youthful years, you're looking to have fun. You're looking to enjoy life. You can't wait for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, hit the bars, hit the clubs, hit the restaurants. You go out on the lake, hit the beach. You just all about enjoying life, and it's all about having fun. We can have fun while saving a portion of our income. Now, it is important for you to establish in your early 20s to start saving at least a minimum of 10% of your income. If you want to be great, well off later in life, start saving 10% of your income. If you want to be in a great position in life, start saving 15% of your income. If you want to be rich and wealthy in the later years of your life, start saving 20 to 25% of your income. But for the most part, right now, young adult starting out, save 10% of your income minimum. In most jobs, as a young adult, many are moving into the working field. You do have a small percentage of people that's branching out and starting their own business. Now, if you are going to work for an employer, most of these employers offer 401ks. Now, what you want to do is you want to start with 5%, 3 months later, 6%, and you want to bump your way up to 10%. All right, you want to have yourself up to 10% within the first 3 years. Now, you can start off with 10%, take that initial sting, get used to it, and then adjust accordingly. But ultimately, you want to get to the position where you're saving at least 10% of your income. All right. And with the 401ks, it gives you different strategies, and they like to keep it as simple as possible. They want to offer you a safe return, a moderate to average return, and there are also some aggressive accounts. And so when you are young in your 20s, you want to have your money in the aggressive model, which is going to be highly technical companies that will grow on average 13, sometimes at the highest 19, 20% annually. That's where you want your money. The same with the Roth IRA. With the Roth IRA, it gives you more flexibility to buying individual stocks or buying index funds. But again, if you're going to go with the Roth IRA, there's a maximum, I think, of around $6,000 that you can put in that Roth IRA annually. And what you can do is talk to a financial advisor. There are backdoor plans, backdoor strategies in which you can use to save even more money than the initial $6,000 maximum. And again, with the Roth IRA, it gives you an option to buy individual stocks, but I highly suggest index funds, ETFs. That's the best way to go. Basket of stocks. You're holding a myriad of stocks, anywhere from 500 to 4,000 companies when you are enrolling or buying index funds or ETFs. All right. Also, next, as a young adult, what you want to have is 3 bank accounts. All right. You want to have 3 bank accounts. You want to have that main checking account. And then what this main checking account is, this is where you're going to deposit the money that's going to pay your household bills, whether it's mortgage on a house, or whether it's rent or utilities, your transportation. You want to have your insurance. You want to have your core necessities coming out of this account. All right. This is where you don't want an ATM card for this. You don't want a debit card for this. This is an account that you don't want to touch no matter what. And what you can do is take a look at all of your bills, right? Take a look at your bills, add them up, then add an extra $100 into that checking account. Now you're going to have $100 that you're not touching, growing every year. And ultimately, this main checking account is going to probably become something like an emergency fund, where you're building and you're growing this fund exponentially. All right. Next, a checking account. Now, this is where you want to have your fund money when it goes to shopping, when it goes to taking trips, vacations, eating out at restaurants. This is the account that you want to have strictly for that. All right. And so when that account hits zero, you know that I may not have enough money in this account to do some things, but all of my main bills are taken care of, and I don't have a care in the world. All right, because I know my main bills are taken care of. And when you start taking a look at how much you're actually spending, you'll realize that, hey, you know what? That checking account for those fun activities, maybe I don't need to have as much fun. Maybe I need to move a little bit more money into a savings account, right? And so what you want to do is the third account, you want that to be a savings account also. And so we want to try to get to at least having $3,000 saved in that account. All right, we want to work our way up to having $3,000 saved in that account. And oftentimes people have a hard time saving money. This is the simplest way for you to save and build your accounts. If you have 3 accounts, one for the main, another for saving, and one for all of your other fun activities, then it's easier to miss that money, right? So now I'm not even looking and thinking about my main checking account money because I know that money is paid. Now I have that money in my savings each week. Good automatic money. I'm in a good position there, and I am positioning myself for long-term success. Next is reading great books. I highly recommend every young adult to read at least 12 books per year. That equates to what? 1 book a month, right? And so this is what I want you to do. This is the breakdown. I want you to read 3 personal development books, right? Now, one of my favorite personal development books is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Man, this is an awesome book by Stephen Covey. I recommend this book when it comes to improving yourself and improving your personal development. All right, again, read 3 personal development books. Next, read 3 books on finance. All right. If you're trying to position yourself well financially, I think it's very, very important for you to read 3 financial books. And one of my favorite financial books on finance is The Richest Man in Babylon. Tells a great story, and it puts a lot of great things in perspective. And it talks about things that we all should be doing financially as adults. The Richest Man in Babylon. Awesome and amazing finance book. All right. And also read 3 skills development books. For example, there are certain things whether it's your field or certain things that you're trying to get better at. And if you're trying to get better at a particular thing, someone has written a book about it. And so I've always been a fan of leadership. I've always been in leadership positions. And so I've always read books to help hone my leadership skills. And another great book for improving your leadership skills is the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. Another phenomenal book. Great book. I think everyone should have that book in their library. And so one of the great books I've read is, and oftentimes we don't really talk about the psychological effect that we can have on people by our words, by the use of our words. And so one of the great books is The Psychology of Persuasion. It doesn't matter what your career field is. If you read this book, The Psychology of Persuasion, how to persuade others to your way of thinking, this will help you tremendously in life. All right. Also, autobiographies. Take time to learn about the great people, right? Take time to learn about the people who have made tremendous impacts on our society. And one of the people that has made a tremendous impact on our society is like Steve Jobs. The book is all white, probably don't look good off of the lighting, but Steve Jobs, man, it's a thick book, but man, it's a phenomenal book. This is probably one of the best books I've ever read. I mean, this guy goes into great detail about his business ventures, his life, everything. Phenomenal book. All right. Next, number 3 is traveling. We want to set some money aside so we can visit other countries. Because when you are in the U.S., you haven't had a chance to venture out into the world. We kind of have a flawed view of how the world really is. And so go out there and see the world. Meet new people, learn new cultures, and create new memories. All right, that's what life is all about. And whenever you have an opportunity to go to some of these countries, it gives you a greater appreciation for what you have back home, right? Because, having running water in our house is a luxury compared to many of the other countries out here in the world. Having electricity, having air conditioning. I mean, having cars in your driveway, having a library of books and the clothes and the amount of clothes that we have in our closet. It is a luxury for us to have what we have compared to the rest of the world. It doesn't matter what your financial position is. If you have a home, if you have air conditioning, if you own your own car, if you have money in the bank, man, you are in the top 20% of the people in the whole entire world. All right. So always remember that regardless of your financial position here in the United States, if you can afford to take care of yourself, you are in the top 20% of the people in the world. All right. When you visit these other countries and you see the people, you see the culture, you see the way that they are living. And I'm not saying that they are living below our standards, but a lot of countries have different cultures, and these cultures should inspire you. And so when you come back to the States, you should come back inspired to be better, inspired to do better, and inspired to be or have a bigger impact on your community as a result of traveling to these countries. All right. So again, number 3, we want to set money aside so we can visit other countries, so we can be inspired by what we see. Okay. Number 4, establish excellent credit. Now, for the most part, you want to have at least a 7 750 credit rating. And how do you do that as a young adult? Number one, you don't want to get behind on any bills. You don't want to over leverage yourself. Again, we're going to have those 3 accounts set up, and we're going to make sure that we can afford to pay all of our bills out of that main checking account. Now, if we do have car payment, we're going to make sure we make those car payments on time. If we have credit cards, again, as a young adult, I would say start with 1, and we want to really limit that credit card use. And so again, if you're not disciplined, man, leave that credit card at home. Every Friday, you bring that credit card out, you go to the gas tank, you put some gas in the car, you come back home, immediately pay the credit card off. You go buy some groceries, you put it on a credit card, come back home, pay the credit card off. And so you have to really, really develop some discipline when it comes to using those credit cards. And if you can discipline yourself to making purchases on your credit cards, immediately paying credit cards off, you're going to truly, truly establish some great credit. And if you do have that, that 750 credit score or more, it's ultimately going to give you access to more capital. And this is great for those who inspire to have more businesses, or those who inspire to grow a business. I know one young lady, I think she was 29 years old. She had $250,000 worth of credit cards, and she only used them for real estate. She would buy a property for $100,000, put $30,000 worth of work in, sell it for $200,000, boom, and she was winning. And so she didn't have to go to the bank, beg for money, borrow money, ask for loans. No, she had it. She was good to go. All right. And also, when you do have, a good credit score, you get better rates on those credit cards. Okay. You will get better rates based on your credit score. All right. And again, like I've stated before, a few seconds ago, always pay your bills on time. You must pay your bills on time. Again, never over leverage yourself. Do not go out and pay or buy or put things on credit cards that you can't afford. It will turn into a continuous cycle of disaster. It will continue to turn into a cycle of dysfunction when you continuously buy things you can't afford. All right. Number 6 is relationship skills. Now, as a young man, you want to build solid networks. You want to build solid networks. You want to be a reliable person. When a person says your name, what does your name, how does your name match up with your character? How does your name match up with your integrity? How does your name matches up with someone's ability to trust you? All right. So you want to build up a character of reliability, and you want to be that person that someone can trust. All right. And also, we want to be generous, right? When we, as a young man or a young woman, you may not have enough money, but you may have enough time. So be generous with your time. Donate some of your time to the girls and boys clubs. Try to give back to your community, because ultimately, the more you give, the more you shall receive. Then as you get older, you're going to have more money, then you're going to have less time. Then ultimately, you'll be able to donate, money to these organizations. But as you're starting out, if you don't have enough money, donate your time. Time is the most valuable asset on earth. And so you have a lot of that to give. And again, when you do things like this, you will be blessed in the end for it. All right. And last but not least, become a problem solver. People that can solve problems are often rewarded the most in life. So focus on identifying problems and becoming a problem solver. That Indian who got tired of walking looked over at that wild horse and he said, hey, you know what? I'm going to ride that thing. And he figured out a way to ride that thing. And he transformed the landscape of traveling as we know it. And so again, family, it is very important for us to be able to solve problems. All right. So again, if you have to pay a little bit of money have some money set aside to attend networking events within your field. Or if you're trying to endeavor or jump into the area of entrepreneurship, we want to have a little bit of money set aside to help position us for success, and it helps and position ourselves for an ability to capitalize off of these opportunities. All right, so we want to build networks. We want to network with people. We want to become reliable. We want to be generous with our time, a little generous with our money, and we want to be a problem solver. So when people have relationships with you, you want them to say excellent things about you. You want them to speak highly of you, because a lot of times opportunities may come your way by way of discussions about you when you're not in the room. All right. That's all I have for today, family. 6 financial goals to help position you for success. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Now, if you did, hey, please leave a like, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, and keep coming back for more wealth building information. Peace.